and I could go back and live different experiences or different lives from previous lives. The next vision I saw, I was laying dead. I had been murdered. I was dead on this patio, on this deck, and my husband was murdered as well. So we were both murdered at this house. Mission, or my objective, is to help all beings ascend up to higher levels of frequency. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Today I wanted to talk to you about an experience I got to have with a friend of mine. She performed what she calls a BQH, which stands for Beyond Quantum Healing. And it's a process she got trained specially to do. And what it is, it's a combination of channeling and kind of like going into a hypnosis. And it was actually very cool, and we were able to do it like over a Zoom. We didn't have to do it in person, so it was really very cool. And so basically what it was is she kind of put me into a hypnosis state, and she kind of regressed me back, and I could go back and live different experiences or different lives from previous lives, and answer different questions that I had. So to start off, she asked what kind of information I wanted to know, what did I want to find out, what information did I want to get from my higher self, those kind of things. So for me, the question that I had, my biggest question was, I've been told that I'm an earth angel, and so I've got different feedback on that from different people. People say that angels can't live on earth, and that there's just no such thing as angels, and so I wasn't really sure if that was true. So I didn't know. So I wanted to find out if I was really an angel, or if I was a light worker, or if I was a star seed, or I didn't know what all that meant. Because different times I've channeled, people said, "Oh, you're an Arcturian, or you're a light worker, or you're different beings." They've said I've been different beings, so I've been like a lot of different beings. So I was just very confused, and I felt like that I was an earth angel. So that was my main question: was, am I an angel? Is that something you can be? And so that was my biggest question. And then if there was anything else that my higher self wanted me to know, that basically just was there. So we went through the regression. The two main things that I remember that happened. I'll tell you the funny thing first. So, it's funny in the end. So as I've started this process, there was a house that I always daydream. So one of the first times I started channeling, they always say, think of a beautiful place that you go to that's your safe place. And so the safe place for me is this beautiful like garden home that has this beautiful terrace that's made out of stone with pillars, and it has like a waterfall pond in it. It's very Greek looking or Italian looking, and it's just gorgeous, with the the sandstone color pillars and rock and stuff. And so, and it kind of oversees like, it kind of goes off into a cliff, or it maybe oversees water or the river or the ocean or something. And it's very, it's outdoors. It's just gorgeous. And so that's always my place. And so when I go to that place in my head, it's outside, and it's just very tropical, and it opens up into this open living area with a kitchen and a sitting area, and that's all I really see of it. And so that's just kind of my place. And so in my head, I always think, oh, I love this place. This is my place. And I think this is going to be my dream home. When I build my dream home, this is how I want it to look. And then that's kind of morphed into, this is what my house must look like in heaven, because I'm an angel. As I go through my regression and I'm going back, then that's where I end up, is this house that I visualize or think of my house in heaven. And there's a party going on, and I'm playing hostess, and which is something I do all the time, so it totally fits. And there's people eating and standing around talking and stuff. And at first I don't really pay attention, but she's kind of guiding me through it, trying to figure out, okay, well, why are we there? And she says, okay, well, what are they wearing? And she's guiding me through it, and I stopped and I looked. I go, oh, okay, well, we're all dressed kind of like the Roman times, like with Roman kind of togas on, but fancy togas, like with real elaborate, emblems and gold, and very formal togas. And she asked what kind of shoes we're wearing, so we kind of got the details done a little bit. And so then she's like, okay, did anything happen? And I'm like, no, we're just having a party. And then that was it. And then she's like, okay, well, and then it just kind of ended. So then we moved on, and I don't remember what happened exactly. We went on, and some other stuff happened. And then, so she was just curious why that came up as something that my higher self wanted me to see, because nothing significant happened. So she's like, let's go back to that other vision. So this was later on, because this took a few hours. So later on in the process, we went back to this home where I apparently lived. And so we went back to it, and she says, okay, well, who lives there? And I said, well, it's me and my husband. And she says, well, do you have any children? I'm like, no, we don't have children. And she says, well, what does your husband do? And so I'm just thinking, I said, oh, he is a politician. He's a really influential politician. And I just knew it. I just knew he was an influential politician. And my job as his wife was to entertain and to be his wife and to, entertain. So we went, we asked more questions. And then she's like, okay, well, why do you think, your higher self brought you back here? And I was like, well, I don't know. And so, she's like, well, what else is going on in the house? And I said, well, nothing. And she says, well, where are you? And I'm like, well, I'm out on, the area, the patio, the deck, And then she says, well, what's going on now? And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. And then the next vision I saw, I was laying dead. I had been murdered. I was dead on this patio, on this deck. And there was blood everywhere, and my husband was murdered as well. So we were both murdered at this house, and I knew he had been assassinated. He had been murdered. He apparently made the wrong politician or political people mad, and so he had been murdered. And so I was apparently there at the wrong time, and I got murdered as well. So we had been murdered in this home. So Kelly, the person that was doing it with me, the regression, in her mind, she thought, oh, okay, this is what they wanted you to remember, because this was a traumatic death, and this is something you need to heal from. And immediately I got from my higher self that no, that wasn't it. You've healed from that. But basically, because she walks me through some questions, and basically what my higher self said, no, it's that I just want her to know that this house isn't her house in heaven. This house is the place she got murdered during this lifetime. This incarnation was a home. She loved this home, and she had good times in this home, but this is where she was murdered, but she loves the home, but that's what she remembers. But just I want her to realize that it's not her heavenly house. And so that was just the point of that whole thing. So that was just sort of funny that my higher self just thought it was really important that I know that that wasn't my heavenly house. And so I still love that house. And apparently I wasn't totally traumatized by my death there, or at least if I was, I've worked through that already. So to me, it was just a funny story, and it just sounds like totally my personality to be like, okay, Candy, get over that. It's not your heavenly house. So another part of the regression was it took me to a part of my life when I was at some kind of ceremony, and at first it seemed like everybody was kind of like in white gowns or white dresses or some kind of ceremony like that, and it seemed like a graduation, or that's what it reminded me of, like a graduation, and people were being honored or rewarded with some kind of certificate or some kind of promotion. Kelly prompted me, and she said, well, what is the graduation for? And I said, I don't know. And so she said, well, ask somebody. So then I went up to somebody and I said, what is this oh, well, for? We graduated, we got our certificate. And I said, for what? And they said, oh, we get to be earth angels now. We get to go out and provide service to beings and help them ascend. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then immediately I felt, or I knew, that this was a very unique opportunity or a very special training that not very many angels pursued or tried to do. It's not something that many angels try to do. They don't really want to do it. And so it wasn't very many of us even graduating. I'd say maybe 20. And it's like a lifelong commitment, or I don't know, lifelong's not really the right one, but it's a huge commitment, and it's a lot of training, a lot of work, and it's like a never-ending process. So it's a big deal to be accepted into the program. It was a very big deal to go through the program, to get the program, to graduate, and then to actually commit to it and do it, was the feeling that I got during my regression. So I was, for me, that was confirmation that really resonated with me as to where I am in my stage of spiritual growth, and in my remembering of my previous lives, and where I'm at in my development. So for me, that resonated, and that's what I believe at this point, is that I've been on multiple planets, not just Earth, but multiple planets, multiple lives, I've been multiple beings. And that's why when people do channelings for me, they all come back and say, oh, well, you're an Atlantean, or you're a Lemurian, or you're, because I have been. When I'm on that planet, that's what I am. I am that being during that time. Like right now I'm on Earth, so I'm a human. So I've been multiple beings, I've been multiple things, and my mission or my objective is to help all beings ascend up to higher levels of frequency, and to help them ascend and help the consciousness of the universe to ascend in a natural way and be a positive light force. And as I grow, and as the being that I am incarnated in this life grows, it just naturally helps with the consciousness at that time. So for me, that resonated, and that was a very beautiful experience for me to have that come across through that whole BQH process. So that for me was worth the whole process. So like I said, that beyond quantum healing process was very cool. It took a long time. It took a couple hours, maybe even 3 hours. And again, if you want information on that, or if you'd like to get a hold of Kelly to ask about getting that done, I can get you hooked up with her. I'll have her information, like I said, in the information below, and you can contact her or get through me to get with her. I can't really think of anything else major. There was some little things. I spent some time on galactic spaceships. I spent some times on different planets. I mean, I had visions and different things like that, but nothing major that I could really talk about, just visions and feelings and emotions. So it's a very cool experience, and depending on what information you're seeking or questions you have, that's kind of where your session would lead you. And my questions basically were answered that I was seeking at the time. So that's where my visions led. Again, so if you want more information on that, be sure to contact me, and I can help you get in touch with Kelly. And again, if you have questions or any comments or similar experiences, I would love to hear about it. Make sure to comment in the section below. And as always, with love and light, I'll see you next time.